Gemo and his driver on the Yaoundé stretch of road was as a result of overspeeding and wrong overtaking by the heavy-duty truck. In this regard, the driver of the heavy-duty truck was given a 5-year suspension. The minister expresses his sincere condolences to the bereaved families while urging road users to respect road safety rules in order to mitigate accident cases.
And as a professional footballer who played as a defensive midfielder, Landri played with several international clubs and represented Cameroon at 2 African Nations Cup tournaments. And who exactly was Landri? His profile with Smart Jikan Gabriel.
Landri Shafak Ngemo, born on the 28th of November 1985, was a Cameroonian international from 2006 until 2014 when he left the pitch. He had 41 caps with the Lions and scored 3 goals. The 38-year-old former Indomitable Lions player started his football career at Nancy in France, a club in which Landri Shafak Ngemo will grow and later graduate into the senior team. During Landri Shafak Ngemo's football career, he had stints with clubs in France, Nancy, Bordeaux and Saint-Etienne. He was loaned to Celtic Glasgow in Scotland, where he made 31 appearances and also played with 3 Turkish clubs. Apart from being a footballer, Landri Shafak Ngemo was also a football trainer. For the period of time that Landri Ngemo played with the national football team, he won the silver medal at the 2008 edition of the AFCON and got the French League Cup in 2006. Landri Ngemo died leaving behind his wife and kids to mourn him.
In other news, in the central region of the country, several persons have incurred injuries following a building which collapsed in a neighborhood in Yaoundé, like I mentioned earlier, in the central region on Thursday at 2 p.m. as you tell us, Sidi Chakutio.
In this amateur video shot on Thursday at around 2 p.m., a building collapses like a house of cards. A good part of the building was swallowed by the cesspool. We are in Fandena 2, opposite the Amadou Waijo Stadium in Yaoundé 5 subdivision. The author of the video that went viral on social network is one of the main witnesses of what was almost a tragedy. I heard people shouting and thank God everyone was outside. I took my courage, got my phone and made some videos. Before the building collapsed, some neighbors who were sharing a drink across the street saw the danger coming and could run before things get worse. We were seated here, and at around 1 p.m., we saw the building being destroyed. So we immediately run opposite it. Thanks God, no one was beside it.
Je continue à dire Dieu merci, mes amis, mes frères qui étaient là au moment où les meubles devaient s'écrouler ont eu vraiment ce réflexe, cet instinct. Tous ont vidé le lieu.
According to witnesses, it was the negligence of the cesspool that caused the breakdown of the building, which only caused material damage.
In other news, the rate of drug consumption in the country remains high as 20% of Cameroonian school-going adolescent youth or the population still consume marijuana and tramadol. This is according to recent statistics published by the National Committee for the Fight Against Hard Drugs in the country. Details and more before me, Armstrong Sander.
In the streets of the city of Yaoundé, like elsewhere in Cameroon, several young people are trapped in the waves of drug addiction. The young man says he's addicted and has been finding it difficult to quit. Like him, his friend confirms that they have been struggling to abandon drug consumption to no avail. They are not the only ones. They need help. A call for help that raises questions on the fight against drug consumption in Cameroon. According to the 2023 statistics from the National Committee for the Fight Against Drugs, the CNLD, the 19 detoxification and rehabilitation centers in Cameroon received some 2,057 people, among which were 1,125 new patients. The statistics reveals that the age group 20 to 24 is the most affected, followed by the group 25 to 27. The committee also reveals that the most consumed drug types in Cameroon include marijuana, alcohol, tobacco, cocaine, tramadol, and many others. As part of activities marking the 37th International Day for the Fight Against Drug Consumption, the CNLD is focused on sensitization.
Notre objectif.
Dr. Colette Takajora, the Secretary General for the CNLD, says their target is the youthful population, which is the most vulnerable to drug consumption.
Conseillons déjà de se rendre dans les centres de soins.
A celebration coming within a challenging security and social context in Cameroon. According to the CNLD's 2023 report, 21% of the Cameroonian school-going population has consumed an illicit substance. The same report reveals that 12,000 school-going adolescents in Cameroon, aged 13 to 15 precisely, consume marijuana and tramadol.
Away from that, councillors in the Bombari Council in the littoral region have sworn that none of them will attend any meeting called up by the city mayor. They accuse the mayor of mismanaging council funds. As you tell us, Smart Jikan Gabriel.
Disgruntled deputy mayors and councillors of the Dibombari Council boycott a council session.
Before election, we make campaign.
Before the elections, during our campaign, we promised people of providing them with social amenities. But after 2 years in power, the mayor changed ways of doing things. He walks alone and doesn't walk with the assistant and is more like a dictator. Dressed in the party uniform, the deputy mayors and the councillors of the Dibombari Council decry the poor management of the council by the mayor, who hasn't achieved anything since they took over the council.
Come water
is from Mulanga, passing through Douala. For him to get pipes and connect the water from Yato to Mulanga is more than him. But we sign millions on every council session. They are now saying until things change, they won't be part of any council session. We can't continue to sign billions when he is not doing anything for the 5 years he has been in control. No development in Yato, but I remember promising gold and silver to our voters during our campaign. The disgruntled Dibombari Council personnel are now calling on the government to intervene. It's never too late for us to rewrite the wrongs. It's time for the senior divisional officer to take up his responsibilities. When the talk of decentralization, it's important for the mayor to know that labor is to be shared amongst his deputies. The mayor is managing the council alone, as if it's a family meeting. It wasn't the first time that a council session was disrupted in Dibombari as a result of disagreement.
Ladies and gentlemen, that report from Dibombari in the littoral region brings us to the end of this edition of the Midday Bilingual Newscast on Équinoxe Television. We thank you so much for your keen attention, and we leave you in the company of interesting programs. Christine Babanda, do have a nice day.
Do have a nice day, Madame, Monsieur. C'est la fin de ce journal. Toute la rédaction centrale vous remercie de l'avoir suivi. Merci également à toute l'équipe technique pour la réalisation de cette tranche d'information. Prenez soin de vous et restez en compagnie de nos programmes les meilleurs.